All right. That was great. I feel validated now for that post-credit scene. Oh, oof. Wasn't that fun?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was a good final episode, I think. It was
Yeah,
it
it
was a
was.
fun romp. Is that how you would describe it? A fun romp.
No, probably not.
Okay, how would you describe it? Go on.
It was a fun romp.
Okay. Um yeah, dude. The, I I'm very I'm very interested because clearly they'd left things open for the future, even though at the moment there's nothing confirmed for the future, you know?
Right.
Um, and what I find interesting is that compared to the other 6 episode series we've had, I think this episode, I think this series did really well in terms of managing a number of plot points and characters and storylines going on to where the final episode didn't feel like a mess compared to some of the other shows, you know?
Yeah, I think that comes to the like that uh sorry, can't word right now. I think it's because they don't have a lot of like fodder characters.
Yeah.
Like there's a very small amount of people in this show, and that is at their benefit. You know
Yeah,
what I
like
mean?
I could see them doing like, one of Harrow's goons as a character that we're also following, like his
Hmm.
dude or his girl who's like, at his side and is doing his henchman things for him. Um I could see them like fleshing out the other avatars more. I could see them doing more gods and stuff, but they were smart to keep it, contained to, Mark and his different personalities, Layla, Harrow, and then like Khonshu and Amit, and that was pretty much it. And then Tararet, I guess. Um, yeah, that really helped things. uh, it was refreshing, honestly, because I haven't really felt that since like Loki, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree.
man,
And even like Loki was another one that had smaller characters, but even that has more characters than this
uh
show
huh, yeah,
in terms of
exactly.
people you're following.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, yeah, no, overall, I agree. I think it was pretty solid. I think by it being a smaller cast, that is a testament to the acting power of um, Oscar,
Mm-hmm.
being that he has to play multiple characters and they feel like multiple characters.
My God, did he do that? Fuck.
Yeah.
What a fucking great performance, dude. That was just the best thing about the show, clearly. Um, but man, oh man, oh man. Uh, I was really, I was really excited about that post credit scene because it also is like that's probably the best way they could have done it, where it's like they hint at the third personality and then they set that up as being the plot point that kind of kickstarts another season if they get it, or wherever he appears next if that happens.
Right.
But they didn't compromise on the major story they were telling. They
Yes.
didn't let
Yes.
that like intrude on what they should have been getting done. So I think that was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, because I feel like with all the other shows, whenever there is another plot point, they do compromise the overall story with that
Yeah,
that other
like
plot
like
point.
Hawkeye and the like Hawkeye had too many
Mhm.
fucking like characters and plot points going into the finale to where it felt like it was kind of um it was not as fulfilled as it could have been. even though I
Yeah.
did like it. Um, but oh man, what was I gonna say? I had a thing in my head. Um, ah man, I forget. Oh,
Okay.
I'm still not entirely clear on the whole like psych ward Doctor Harrow thing.
Okay, I thought I felt stupid. Okay.
No, I don't. I mean, maybe
I
we're both
wanted you to
stupid, but
clarify a little bit more for me, but
it's possible we're both stupid. But I don't know. That might have just been something that's supposed to be like up to the interpretation of the viewer because that's not like out of the fucking deep blue for this kind of character and the stories he's in. Like there are a lot of Moon Knight stories where you're kind of as the reader you are left to kind of um determine for yourself what you think is real and what's just part of like his delusions. Um, but yeah, like I don't know. In the last episode, I felt like it was probably a good bet that it was just sort of like one of those, afterlife pre or after space life slash pre after dash life
what?
kind of things. Like
Ooh,
before you get to the afterlife, something that like judges you as a character, as a person, something
okay.
like that. And Harrow is just like a visual representation that Mark slash Steven could, like conceptualize. But
Mhm.
now that they showed it here, I'm not sure because they clearly showed it at a point where they can, they kind of like slip in and out of each other easily without losing their own consciousness. um
Yes.
so that clearly happened like at the end. That wasn't like a flashback to something that happened right before they left the like afterlife. uh so
Yeah.
yeah, maybe it's just like a visualization of inside his mind, and Harrow is just like he's like he's like an incarnation of his own like judgment of himself, I guess.
Yeah. I it's weird because at the very start of this show, like the very start, the first scene that's shown is Harrow putting on his shoes with glass in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering when that was going to come back, and then it comes back here, but like I'm still like, okay, but like I'm not getting it. Like,
Well, the glass in the shoe thing is basically just like he's a repentant person, and they really built on that in this final episode where he wanted to accept judgment on himself because he had taken so many lives, even though it was in pursuit of like, meeting out Ahmed's judgment and stuff. But he
right?
still believed
Okay,
that he himself was a bad person and that he should be punished for that. And the whole glass in the shoe thing is him like doing everything he can to be a repentant person, uh,
okay.
like a
Thank you for
repentant
clearing that
worshiper.
up. Yeah,
It coming back here at the end where he's like, "Oh, I'm bleeding." Um, I'm not sure. There's probably some symbolism that I'm not picking up on there. Um, maybe it's just like maybe that's like I don't know because I don't know how real it is. It's obviously not real what's happening there because the real bit was the post credit scene where he's like in a
yeah.
fucking like mental ward. Um, like my first thought
Oh,
would be like it's his like personal delusions about him being a worshiper of Amit crashing down, but it's like
I,
I don't know. I
I
honestly
thought it
don't know.
was signifying that like now that he's the one in the mental ward, like it's starting to bleed into like the dream world. You know what I'm saying? Like now he's the one there. I don't know. I don't know. I was just confused. I like the scene, the way it's shot, and the dialogue. I just
Uh-huh.
didn't really understand it.
Yeah. Um. hmm. Uh. Another thing that I could say if I were to like criticize something about it, I would say that uh they just kind of like hand waved some of the like climax stuff here, where it's just like, oh yeah, magic. We're just gonna like use the power of the gods to seal Amit inside his body. But the thing is like I don't. It's not as bad because they did establish that like the power of the gods combined can seal a god within something. So they're basically just doing to him what they did to Khonshu, but instead of being in like a stone statue, they did it into a person.
Right.
So I kind of get that, but the whole thing about them like taking on the power of all the gods is like they said like one line about it, and it's like, all right, let's do it, bam, done. But it's like, yeah, that's okay. I'm not too mad about that.
That's fair. I mean, also, why can't I think of his name? What's Ethan Hawke's character name?
Harrow.
Harrow. Yeah, so Harrow like destroys the pyramid, right?
Uh huh.
Um, which brings everything crashing down. But there's statues there, right? That if you break, the gods
Mm.
shall come out. So does that mean that the statues just didn't break? I'm thinking about it too hard, but I felt like that could have been something.
Yeah, I mean
But I get it.
they did seal Amit away like in the pyramid, like in that judgment room they were in. So the pyramid's probably like mostly intact. But I mean, if they want to, they could make that like something that they could do for a future plot point, just to like have a
Mhm.
flashback to the fucking climax and be like, oh, this statue of Anubis broke, and now he's the big daddy.
Right.
That
Okay.
could be kind of cool. I don't know if Layla's like her whole Avatar thing is supposed to be a comic thing because I don't remember her being a like a superhero or anything, but
Yeah.
it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I liked
I was cool
the
too.
outfit and stuff. Um, hmm, man, that was that was just really like surprisingly fun as a series. That fifth episode, man, I'm still fucking reeling over that because that was just some
Uh,
crazy cool stuff in there.
I really like the fifth episode, and I still think this has one of my favorite first episodes.
First episode was really great, yeah.
That first episode had me like, whoa, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did some really cool shit, and yeah, I really like the first episode, and like you said, the fifth episode is yeah. I the one thing about these like Marvel shows, like all of them, right?
hmm
Like the negatives and the positives, I would say they will give you one really amazing episode. I can take like one episode out of every series and go, "Yep, that was fucking amazing." Like so, yeah, I just really enjoy whenever we watch a new series. I'm like, oh, which what episode is it gonna be? You know what I mean? But
hmm
that doesn't take away from the series as a whole. I think like this show was really good overall. But
hmm
there's definitely like that one crown jewel. I feel like. Um,
Dude,
damn, I was gonna bring something else up. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll bring that up. I loved. I don't know how a lot of people are gonna feel about it, but I loved how they like jump cut the fight, like the final fight.
Yeah, yep, yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up.
That was so cool, in my opinion. I thought that was like because if you're paying attention and you understand like what's going on, it's just an immediate like holy fuck without any kind of fucking like pretense. It's
Yeah,
so cool.
I'm a little upset at myself because I was muted.
hmm
That's just because I had some noise going on and I didn't want to like, and I just kind of forgot once the noise stopped.
It's okay.
But I was like, oh my gosh, Riley, look, it's so cool, and like I don't know. For some reason, I thought you were just like, I'm watching the show. Let me watch the show. I'm not gonna say anything. And I was just like, oh, it's so cool. And he pulls out like the batons, and I'm like, Daredevil. And it just reminded Daredevil so much, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really
Look,
cool.
I really like the how they differentiate Steven and Mark fighting.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh, when he did like the little he does like the suit like clean up move or whatever,
mhm.
like he just like taunts him and he kicks him. I was like, this is so cool, dude.
It's pretty great. I do really like how they've differentiated the personalities in this like really well.
Hmm.
Because in the comics, it's like Mark Spector's the main personality, and then Steven is like a millionaire kind of personality, and then Jake Lockley's just like a cab driver. It
Right.
could be like, undercover and shit. Whereas in this, it's like, Mark's the mercenary / the one who's the most closely tied to Khonshu. Steven is, the happy one. He's the one
The
who
naive.
the naive happy one. He's the one who's created to, repress childhood trauma. And then Jake is just like the psychopathic one. And that's one thing. I think that might be the thing I'm most excited for, is seeing like how he got created. Because there had to have been some kind of inciting incident like there was with Steven, where an
Yeah.
entire new altar was born. And I really would love to see that.
Yeah, they really make it, and this is the one of those things that feed into the first episode, and maybe even looking in hindsight at the first episode,
Mm-hmm.
like whenever that third personality whenever Jake comes, it's so scary, like
Yeah.
because you don't see what happens; it's just the aftermath.
The aftermath, it's so cool.
And that makes me think, like I say, in hindsight, of the first one was like, well, how much of that was either Steven? Well, it wasn't Steven, we know. Well, how much of that was Mark? How much of that was the other personality? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Oof. Man, oh man, oh man. This is like trying to remember. This is the first Marvel thing since No Way Home, right? I'm pretty sure it is.
Hawkeye didn't come out after.
Hawkeye was before No
Oh,
Way
yeah,
Home.
it's right before.
Like or like episode 5 of Hawkeye came out like when No Way Home came out, I think.
Yeah,
But yeah, like having like a 5-month break or 4-month break, I guess. Yeah, I just love whenever Marvel comes back, and it's just because I know it's like it's always gonna be at least like fun quality,
yeah.
Man, good.
I recently watched. Speaking of No Way Home, I watched some Cinema Wins on everything great about No Way Home part. He released the first part.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
But I also wanted to get into like because he made like a supplemental video, but I don't think it was just like him going over kind of like the Sam Raimi trilogies
Right.
and also I guess a little bit of Amazing Spider-Man and how like the villains of those shape up to the villains of like the Tom Holland Spider-Man. And I wanted to watch that video and then like so we could talk about it, but I will eventually watch because he has it on like a different site, like it's not on YouTube. So yeah, and you have to like subscribe to that site and stuff. And I was thinking about subscribing just to watch the video.
Right.
But yeah, I wanted to bring it up to you right now, so you know it in advance when I come up. I'm like, right, I finally watched the video. But yeah, back to Moon Knight. It was a great show. Great show. I have no harsh complaints about it. It was cool. The second episode, third.
Yeah.
I don't remember one of those. That's probably like my least favorite episode.
I think it was the third. The third was I think the one that I was kind of the most. Third and fourth, I think, were the ones that I don't want to say checked out. That sounds too harsh. They're the ones that didn't hold up as well as the first two and the last two, I think. Which is, I'll say that's
it's always hard with that middle bit, I feel like. For like
I guess.
For Marvel. Like that middle bit is always kind of like up in the air.
I think the middle bit of Falcon and Winter Soldier was the best of it.
Yeah, okay. I was thinking I was gonna say that, but you took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah. Loki has a pretty okay middle bit though. I think the middle bit is good.
The last two of Loki are the best parts of it though.
Yeah, exactly. And I would say the beginning bit of WandaVision's probably
the beginning of WandaVision's the best, and the flashback episode. I love the flashback episode. Oh man, we have fucking Doctor Strange in 2 days. Have you been remaining unspoiled?
Yeah, I haven't seen literally nothing on there. So
all right, yeah, I've been doing the same. Max said something really fucking scary to me today. He said he was talking about like, Riley, like Twitter has a horrible thing with spoilers, and I'm just like, you better not fucking tell me you got spoiled. And they start talking about like Breaking Bad, and I'm like, all right, okay. I wanted to tell him like, why don't you just get off Twitter? And I was just, and I knew he'd been just like, no, I'll be fine. I'm good. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, that's. I think that's probably my most anticipated movie of this year.
Right.
Was
I'm
No Way Home this year?
No Way Home was last year, December.
Okay, yeah, then yeah, definitely Doctor Strange probably my most anticipated movie of this year.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Thor in July. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Um, and then Miss Marvel's coming out in June, which that's I don't expect anything like crazy fucking hype out of that, but that'll be a lot of fun. I think.
Yeah. That
Um,
that that reminds me of like a Disney original movie, and I don't mean that in like a
like
bad
yeah,
way. So don't anyone say that.
like something you watch on the Disney Channel like on a weekend or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like it's one of those things like as a child, like and when I was younger, I would like be like, oh, that's something cool, and like I used to wait for this Disney original movies. Like I would like every time I saw the trailer, I was like, oh.
What was that one we watched together, you, me, and Max, that you showed
uh,
us?
it might have been Minutemen since that's like one of my favorite
Min
like
Min?
Minutemen.
Oh, Minute
Where they
Men.
like
Which one was
where they
that?
go in time, they go back in
No,
time
I don't
and
think it was
like
Time. It might have been. It was like it was about like a black kid, and
you were talking about Let It Shine.
Let It Shine. That was it. That was a good one.
Yeah, I was like,
That was a Disney movie,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, it is. It is definitely a Disney
Yeah.
movie.
I wish you didn't
That's funny
like,
because
Chris. I wish you didn't tell me that that's what it was so quickly because now it's gonna seem like all I remember from this that's about a black kid when it's not
it was
true.
about a black
It's
guy.
he wanted to rap and his dad didn't fucking appreciate
I
that
should have
he was
named
a
like
rapper.
any other like black movie. Oh, you're talking about Training Day with Denzel Washington.
Anyway, yeah, and then beyond that, I think She-Hulk is coming out in the fall, and then there's the Black Panther movie, Black Panther 2 is
Bro,
in November.
I don't know what to do with that. I mean, we talked about it, but sheesh, Louise.
um, what is? Hang on, I just found something. What is this? It says there's an untitled Marvel Halloween project that's coming out this year. I don't know what that
Oh
is,
boy,
and there's like
it's like
nothing about it except
Doctor
that
Strange Multiverse of Madness horror edition.
I don't. Yeah, but I don't know what that is. That's something that's new apparently. And then the last thing is the holiday special for Guardians of the Galaxy in winter. So those are the slates for the rest of the year. Out of those, yeah, I'm really excited for Doctor Strange because we're seeing that fucking in 2 days. And then I'm just really excited for Thor. And I'm interested about Black Panther just because, like, I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do with that.
Yep. Same.
Man,
Because like I, I'm with you. I'm very interested, but I'm also kind of like I don't know if I have high hopes for it. But I mean it's Marvel, so they'll crank out at least something halfway decent.
yeah, I mean, I think that's a healthy way of going into it. Just like fucking don't expect anything amazing, and then you can either be really surprised or you could be like, yeah, that's about what I expected. um, because I have no idea what the fuck it's it. Who fucking knows what the fuck that's gonna be about? Uh, I can't imagine. Like, I can't imagine how they're gonna fucking swing that movie's story. Like, if someone if someone at Marvel came to me out of nowhere and was like, "Hey, we need you to write a sequel to Black Panther. You're not allowed to recast T'Challa, and you have to incorporate his death into the story somehow in a way that's natural, while also telling a good self-contained story that also possibly sets up for future MCU stories." I'd be like, can you not? Like, I don't want to be responsible for that.
Well, that's what you have a team for.
uh, oh man, I'm still like, I'm. Whew, For some reason, my mind just went to the fact that like Eternals had 2 post-credit scenes that just go in completely different directions that are setting up future stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stories to be told. I'm excited.
I recently had a talk with someone who just watched Eternals.
Uh-huh.
And they weren't too fond of it.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and they were just saying how it feels like it's very absurd. Like, it's a
Right.
very absurd movie, and how it feels bigger than like the shit that happens in that movie is way bigger than any other MCU shit. And I'm like, yeah,
Yes.
I can see what you're saying. I feel like the post credit scene is really fucking wild, but like, you know, there's it's not too crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a giant, like, fucking 300 story, like, monster that comes out of the ocean. I don't know. I still like. I've seen Eternals 2.5 times. I haven't watched it all the way through a third time, but I've watched it all the way through twice, and I still like that movie. Even though like the movie is surprisingly good, despite the fact that the main character is boring as fuck. I think that's the biggest praise I can give it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that movie's fine. I agree with you that it does do like the story is fine, everything's fine except for the main character. But
I think
it
it's
kept
just
me interested, and yeah, it's just okay Marvel movie.
I think it's carried by its really engaging side characters. I say side, but you know the members of the Eternals, like most of them are decently engaging.
Yeah.
Um.
The person I was talking to said they hated Sprite, so
Fair enough.
yeah, that's I was like, that's funny because I kind of I can see myself.
I don't hate. I find her fucking compelling. I think she has a compelling fucking story. Anyway,
I said that though. I said I think she's compelling, but I don't like her.
Fair enough.
so you know,
fair enough.
Take that as you wish.
All right. I don't think I have anything else about Moon Knight.
I don't have anything else about Moon Knight.
Right.
I want to see more Oscar Isaac.
Oh God, please. Yeah, just give him more. Give him something. Give him another season, or put him in another movie if he wants to. You know, Oscar Isaac, I know, has become really disillusioned with like the Hollywood industry and big blockbusters and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think he has said in interviews that like this, you know, doing this show has kind of reinvigorated some kind of passion for good storytelling and character work and stuff.
That makes me happy because, like, Riley, after we finish like The Witcher, I definitely want us to watch Scenes from a Marriage, and like, yeah, dude,
absolutely.
I can't praise fucking Oscar Isaac enough. He's climbing the ranks as like one of my favorite actors. So
yeah,
I just gotta see him in more stuff.
I feel so bad. I still haven't seen the last fucking Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen fucking the middle or I haven't seen The Last Jedi or fucking Skywalker in the After Earth or whatever that shit's called.
I'd really like to watch The Last Jedi with you, and I'd really like to watch the prequels with you. We need to get together and watch movies, dude, because I also need to watch Lord of the Rings with you. But that'll be a commitment, but I really do want to watch the fucking prequels with you. Because I rewatched them recently, dude.
And how was that?
I fell asleep during Attack of the Clones. And I was just checked out for all three. Those movies are bad. I don't care how good the memes are about them. Those are not great movies. But I'd love to watch them with you to see what you think. Because there's good stuff in them. Also,
sure. I mean, my friend, she fucking loves Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't like the last trilogy, but she likes the prequels. And yeah,
yeah. A lot of people these days, like people say, like, "Oh man, these sequels are so fucking. Look at them. Like the prequels are so much." And I'm like, I can sit down and watch the sequels. Like I can get through those and have a decently fun time, even though they have faults. The fucking prequels put me to sleep when I watch
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I'm not gonna I haven't seen it, so yeah, but I just feel like from what I've seen of the prequels, I will take the sequels any day.
Yeah,
At
they
least
have
I get
life.
at least they have spectacle to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some cool shit there.
Dude, oh my god, no, the fucking prequels do have spectacle.
Do
I'll actually,
they?
I'll show you a scene, like maybe my favorite scene from the prequels, and you tell me that it doesn't have fucking spectacle.
Okay, okay, all
Anyway,
right, that's fair. That's fair.
but
Okay.
yeah, we're going off on a tangent again.
About Star Wars?
Oh, we also need to watch the 2D Clone Wars series by Gendy Tartakovsky, because oh my god, I rewatched that today too, and man,
How was
that's fun.
because I wanted to watch that, but also I wanted to watch the Cartoon Network.
Yeah,
They're both on Cartoon
the
Network,
Dave
weren't
Filoni
they?
3D one. Yeah, that one's good
Yeah, I
too. I
heard
like
that
that
was
one.
pretty good too.
I haven't seen all of it, but I have seen a good amount of it, and it's actually like decently good. I think decently good. It's actually really good in a lot of places. But again, I haven't seen all of it, so eventually I'll watch all of it. Thanks for watching our Star Wars podcast.
Come back next time.
Oh man, dude, we gotta do. Let's get back to Marvel. We gotta do we gotta do another Up and After podcast. At
Fuck
some
yeah, we
point.
gotta fucking watch Hulk.
Oh yeah, I love to
Yeah,
watch Hulk.
yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna do like a fucking, since we're watching Doctor Strange with Max as well. Like, I don't know if we're gonna fucking do a fucking thoughts video on that.
Yeah.
Maybe like
I mean,
we'll like do a thing like a week later. Like we'll come back and
it's
revisit it now that it's like marinated for a week.
it's also weird that like because we have our Up and After podcast,
Uh huh.
and I'd be wanting to like talk about like stuff like Moonlight because we just finished it, but we're doing it like in chronological order
Right.
on our podcast. So, you know. So by the time that we probably will have like, oh yeah, damn, I kind of forgot about the some of the things in fucking WandaVision or Loki or whatever.
Those ones
But
we might
yeah,
have to like watch out our own time and come together.
yeah, come
Because
together.
yeah, I don't know if we could put away fucking like 5 hours to watch the shows again.
Yeah,
But that's fine.
but
I'd be fine with that.
yeah, we also gotta we can definitely review other things though.
Oh yeah, like
Obviously,
Arcane.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Max put Arcane at an A and not an S.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Can Max be trusted after that?
Oh man. Speaking of which, yeah.
We get to talk about Black Sails whenever we finish that.
Oh man, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Those last 2 or 3 episodes was pretty fucking good. I'm not gonna lie.
I could talk about Black Sails for hours, dude. Once we finish it, man. Holy fuck. Anyway, all right. I think that's all.
Yeah.
All right, cool.